where the Nets play today. Nick, let me ask you first, what did Kyrie have to say today? He seemed anxious to talk in the past. What did he say today?
Max, he declined to comment, which is really something, given that Kyrie was beaming walking out of FedEx Forum the other night in Memphis, and he's the one who said, I can't wait to talk to y'all once this becomes official, and we did not hear from him. But we did hear from Kevin Durant, and I thought he said two very notable things. First and foremost, the emotional lift of not having to talk about this anymore for this group is very big because they've been having to deal with all these questions about Kyrie because he hadn't been on the floor in Barclays. That is gone now, and the Nets definitely think that will help them over the next couple weeks of the regular season and into the playoffs. Secondly, though, Durant's the one who said it really helped to have the Yankees and the Mets pushing this through. And the amount of power for baseball teams in that city, especially the Yankees, Max, you know it very well, was incredibly crucial in getting this to happen for Kyrie and the Nets. So I thought that was very noticeable from Durant. As powerful as the NBA is and as much superstar power as Kyrie Irving has, if the Yankees and Mets were getting close to opening day, I don't think this happens.
That was the first thing I thought when it became apparent that Aaron Judge, at least he was being evasive about whether or not he was vaccinated. I thought, oh, now that the Yankees may have an issue, right? It's one thing when the point guard in Brooklyn is talking God body. Then all of a sudden the politicians aren't so quick to move. But when the Yankees slugger's like, maybe not either. Now all of a sudden all the rules change, right? I think KD may have hit on something there, Nick. Nick, thank you very much.
Always, buddy.
And it is time for me to talk to Richard Jefferson. RJ with me now. RJ, now that the Nets have Kyrie full-time, which version of him do you think will show up? The one who put up numbers but seemed to make the team function less effectively at times in Boston when it counted, or the big game killer Kyrie that won a championship?
Well, I think that still remains to be seen. At the end of the day, you're going to see numbers from him. You're going to see buckets from him. That's who he is. That's who he's always been. That is why he is box office. Not because of like some natural point guard play. It's because every time he touches the ball, you are on the verge of seeing something you've never seen before. So, you've seen it, in glimpses here on the road. And now hopefully those doses get doubled because he is in his prime. He is in his physical. He is in his mental basketball prime. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do the rest of the way.
Yeah, the kind of greatness that Kyrie has displayed recently, I agree with you. It seems like everything is coming together, and it's almost like you can't even look right at it. It's too brilliant, right? Like he is, to me, as good or better than he's ever been. And now he gets to play all the time. But defensively, Kyrie doesn't often play it, but when he does in high leverage moments, RJ, I think he's quite good defensively. The Nets rank in the bottom third of the league defensively, but like 21, right? That means a little nudge up and they can be mid-pack. You can win a championship with a great offense and maybe a mid-pack defense. Can Kyrie help them on the defensive end, RJ?
No, he can't help them in the traditional sense that you were thinking. Where he can help is that if he's scoring at the rate that he's been scoring, teams are going to have to put a lot of energy into stopping them. The more energy you have to play on the defensive end, the less energy you have on the offensive end. So it's kind of like addition kind of by subtraction. The more offense he scores, the less defense or less offensive starch that you have. But I will say this, that was part of the reason why you bring in Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is this all-everything defender, 1 through 5, can guard every position at an elite level. And so he is the person, and again, there is no timetable for his return, but he is the person that is supposed to kind of clean up and fill in those gaps where they are lacking defense.
Yeah, listen, if he has a herniated disc, he may never be the same, but this year is out. If the disc is herniated, we ain't going to see any Ben Simmons in these playoffs. As I've been mentioning, RJ, I herniated my discs over 10 years ago. Haven't played in a single NBA game since then. That's a fact. RJ, if the Nets, this is something, it is, you can look it up. If the Nets end up playing the Raptors for the play-in tournament game, right? I'm watching that Raptors-Cavs result last night because, if it's the Raptors and they wind up in a play-in, RJ, Without Kyrie, because it'd be in Canada, in Toronto, that's a game they could lose, right? And then they would have to beat, potentially, if Atlanta got by Charlotte, like at this moment, a Trae Young Hawks team that'd be capable of springing an upset. How dangerous is a Toronto team if the Nets don't have Kyrie up there?
Well, let's calm down. This Brooklyn Nets team is very far away from where they want to be. It was just 2 days ago that they had KD and they had Kyrie, and they lost on the road to the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant. So, I don't really need, for me, it's not about can they beat this team? They just lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I know the Memphis Grizzlies record is great without Ja Morant, but they were still on the road against a Ja Morant-less team and still lost. So my point is here, every team is a threat. They don't want to be in that position at the end of the day. But, if you've got Kevin Durant on your team in Toronto, in Mars, I don't care where he's at, you have a chance.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.